Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. I'm your host, Lucas. It is March the 21st today. We've got a short but sweet reflection today talking all about protecting your peace. Peace of mind is one of the biggest reasons as to why I entered recovery and why I need it and why I work so hard at it. And I think it's an area that people actually kind of push a lot or don't fully integrate or understand that connection for it with the importance in recovery. So wanted to put this one up today. So let's get into it. So this is from the My Sober Life app by Hazelton. So protect your peace. Are there stressful things bothering you today that you could put aside for now? Avoid stress to make room for positive growth today. Action. What stressful things can you put aside for now? Right now might not be a good time to take extra classes, get a second job, or start a new romantic relationship. Protect your peace of mind and put a few things off until you are more solid in recovery. Thought for the day. One of the most important elements of recovery is our willingness to try. So, like I said, short but sweet. Of course, first I laughed when I opened this and read it and found it for this morning, just because it is very applicable in my life today. That's one of my favorite things about daily reflections or just recovery readings in general, is how often they apply to my life, how often they are the thing that I need to hear. And this is exactly what this was today. So this one was for me, so I'm just now sharing it with all of you. So just these, I think just the general concepts that this reflection talks about are so important. Protecting your peace, and then we can also extend that a little bit just to protecting your recovery. Addiction is chaos. Addiction is chaos. It's where our disease thrives. It loves putting us in that place of uncertainty and unknown and everything just like flying all over the place and no foundation, no security. It loves putting us and keeping us in that spot. So we get stressed out, overwhelmed, and then think we need our addiction in order to get through it, right? This was too much. I needed to drink. Things were too bad and too much at home. I needed to go off and be promiscuous. I needed to go to the casino just to blow off that stress and get my head out of all this bullshit at work. Whatever it may be. That's the spot where our disease thrives and tries to keep us so that we think we need it, is that place of chaos. So peace is obviously the opposite of that. And it was so important for me. I mean, like, it is every day, but it was so much in recovery, in early recovery, and as that motivator, because it was something I looked for but couldn't find. In active addiction, I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out how to incorporate this and make this a part of my life. So that's just what makes it so important for me now and so crucial for recovery. Not only because being in recovery was the space where I've been able to find it, it also, as we just established, is the opposite of where my addiction thrives. So it's kind of this positive self-feeding cycle, right? Where if I'm peaceful, if I'm in a peaceful place, it protects my recovery. And then if I'm in recovery, it helps me find peace. So they kind of work together really importantly for us. So just these points and questions that it talks about. Are there stressful things you can put aside for today? Getting back to that slogan of one day at a time. Like, what are things you need to do today? What are things you can let go of today in order to keep your peace of mind? Just because of how important it is. And then the action section gets a little bit more into that, right? What stressful things can you put aside right now? Now might not be a good time to take extra classes, get a second job, or start a new romantic relationship. I'm sure you've all heard that not getting into a serious relationship in your first year of recovery thing It's that like unwritten rule that nobody does. I am absolutely guilty of this too. And had this was just an impactful thing for me as well at points in my recovery. But just this perspective of thinking, like, do you need to be taking these other things on right now? Do you need to be incorporating them, jumping at these potential opportunities, or making them happen? Like, I've absolutely paid for this too. And they're just really good questions to ask yourself and to try to take a step back and really look at them and see if it is that right decision for you now or not. A lot of us, especially in early recovery, when you get sober and you're feeling like that fog is being lifted from you, a lot of us tend to really then get in a rush. And you're like, I need to make up for lost time. I need to catch up on all this crap I haven't been able to do because I'm not where I want to be right now. Or I am no longer in this like drug-induced haze and I'm back on the same planet as everybody else. And things make so much more sense. I have more clarity. Therefore, again, need to push forward hard, need to fly and catch up with all this stuff and be where I want to be. And a lot of the time, whatever, half the time at least, that's really not the case. It's really not. And like I said, I have fallen victim. I have done all of these things too much. That is like a classic thing for me is face planting. I will just go too hard, too much, too fast. Boom, burnout. Oh my God. Okay, all right, we got to get up. Go again. Let's keep going. I got to do all these things. Boom. Like that's that is my typical behavior that I am still trying to unwork and slow down. So this is a big challenge for me. So I'm definitely talking to myself a lot in this clip. But it's true. It just, we can get in the space and want to rush and get to where we want to be or think we need to be. Or we can really experience a lot of FOMO, getting that fear of missing out if a potential opportunity comes up, and then they go, oh my gosh, this may not be here again. I need to do this right now, or this feels really good, and I do not want to let this go, and I don't want to lose out at all costs because it's, giving me some sense of security, or it's filling this need that I desperately have that I didn't even realize I had until this thing is now in my life. So they're understandable, but just looking at them and saying, what else is this costing me? How else is this going to affect me? And especially with the focus from this reflection, the focus of peace of mind. How much will this affect my peace of mind? And is that worth it? Is that giving me what I need and being able to maintain peace of mind? Is it giving me peace of mind? Is it a sacrifice that I'm making that's costing my peace of mind for however long? And is that worth it? And I think this is where, having a sponsor, a therapist, recovery coach, wink, a support system, just other people to talk to bounce this off of, to get their input and to ask is really important, because we can't always call our own shots. We can't always make our own decisions or know what's best for us. If we did and we could all the time, we wouldn't need recovery, and we wouldn't need all this constant guidance and support and a program and treatment and all of this stuff. We just wouldn't. So getting that outside counsel is really beneficial and helpful with stuff like this. And the caveat with it, which I also have not done nearly enough, is then being willing and open to the feedback. So there's a difference between asking that support circle for, hey, should I be doing this right now? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? As opposed to, hey, should I be doing this right now? I'm really wanting you just to say yes and tell me that so you can justify what I'm doing. So then it feels better. And then I have you as a support to say, oh, but they said it was okay, so therefore I'm doing it. There's a big difference. And our addict brain can really easily play that game and get into that. So that's just something to kind of watch out for too when you're doing this and going through this process. But yeah, so that last line in action: protect your peace of mind and put a few things off until you are more solid in recovery. I think that's kind of the last main point that I want to make on this. And it's what I've seen countless times, like time and time again. People relapse over these things because they're not protecting their peace of mind and they're not protecting their recovery. They are so focused and hell-bent on, no, I need to do this right now. Like, no, a relationship's going to be really good for me, and that's what I need. I spent so much money in addiction, I need to make more money. I need to work more and harder right now. Or I'm not on my life goal plan, so I need to go back to school right now, full-time, or accelerated even, just to get my BA faster, to then get that career that I want to do. Like, I have seen countless people do this and rush off into something like this and relapse and not make it back, or see them make these big long-term impulsive decisions because they want to be here, or they just want things to be this way. Protecting your recovery and your peace of mind are so paramount and so crucial. And I just don't think that gets emphasized enough. In theory, if you want to be in recovery the rest of your life, you then have the rest of your life to work on this stuff. And you have the rest of your life to accomplish these things. You know, and you know that you couldn't in your addiction, but you now have the opportunity to in recovery. So for however long in all those years you spent in your addiction not accomplishing or having these things, that doesn't mean you therefore need to rush now right out of the gate because you're in recovery and you have the opportunity to do so. You have the opportunity for the rest of your life if you stay in recovery and make this your priority. It's just such a big warning I want to share with you, because I've just seen it happen countless times, of people jumping into these things, taking on too much and rushing into it and relapsing over it and starting all over again, never seeing them again. I mean, we know what relapse can cost us. That I don't need to tell you. So just please, for yourself, take that extra time and really look at these things and see if they are something you genuinely have to do right now, because our addict brain is really good at convincing us that we do. It's really good at pulling that wool over our eyes and telling us that's what needs to happen. And we can then just get blindsided because we're not looking at our recovery enough, our peace of mind enough, and saying, is this really making the most sense right now? So, if it involves taking off that extra time, being on whatever medical leave or unemployed or whatever from work for a while to get that peace, then do it. Then absolutely do it. For my first almost 3 years in recovery, I did not work. I didn't. I was on welfare, like social assistance. I was in Toronto community, like public sober housing, and I was volunteering at my old treatment center, and that was it. And I did that for almost my first 3 years of recovery. That was it. Very simple. I got sober when I was 23. I was young. I was a wreck. I was very scared. I was very traumatized. And I could not use again, no matter what. And I've had a lot of people say to me, like, Lucas, you're the rare case. You're the anomaly. Like, you got sober so young. You've been sober so long now. Like, you're the super rare, hard to find guy. Like, well, two things. A, I don't know about that. I don't know if I am. I've absolutely met other me. I have a group of other me's that I've started, like my own personal group therapy with other people who are in my position. So we're findable. And the other thing too is that I've just seen so many people aren't willing to do what I did in order to have this kind of foundation in recovery. I haven't found a lot of other people who didn't work for 3 years, and then had that like very little, I didn't have spending money, right? But had what I needed to eat, but that was about it. Had my sober housing, which was not glamorous, and had new roommates relapsing in and out every week. But it was a safe enough place for me to live in recovery and to stay and be. And volunteering at my old treatment center, to be giving back there, which I was told to do. And then also being connected with a place that I identified as very safe, where I had a lot of other supports there. And I did that for almost 3 years before I then started working and went back to school. And did those both at pretty much the same time. So, it's that. And I'm not... It's that, like, if you want what we have, then are you willing to go to any lengths to get it? Are you willing to do that work? That amount of dedication? And in this case, what can seem like that amount of sacrifice to build such a solid foundation in recovery before you then start putting things on top of it, right? So, food for thought. I just really wanted to mention and stress the importance of all of that, and putting this first, so then you can build everything else on top of it. Because, and especially if you are then in a rush off to do some of these other new things and put them in front of your recovery, well, if you relapse, then how much more time are you going to lose? You have to start all over again, or be relaying a new foundation. Like, you're back at the starting point. And that's if you come back from your relapse. If your relapse is one and done, and then you come back into recovery right away. That's also a thing a lot of people don't do. Relapses are more than once, or relapses can be fatal. So, what's the cost? What's the difference? What is this worth to you? Okay? There's some real talk. I just wanted to finish with those points because they are true, they're important, and I've just seen them countless times. So, I'm just hoping some of that can get through and sink in for you. Okay, so there we go. Protecting your peace on March 21st. There's our reflection for the day. So I really hope that resonates with you. Please, in the comments, share what does resonate with you. What stands out for you? How are you protecting your peace today? Or what are some of those lessons that you've learned not doing this the same way that I was sharing? Right? Would love to hear them. Throw them down in the comments there. The rest of the YouTube things can really help the channel. So subscribing, liking, and sharing if you resonate with the content. Other great ways you can support the channel too is donating, becoming a member, getting yourself some logoed merchandise. They're all there in the description. And we've got a bunch of free resources in there for you too. Other recovery coaching videos, a podcast, blog, everything's connected all through our website. So check all those out. And last is I do private recovery coaching with folks. So if you're hearing all this stuff and saying, okay, I kind of get what you're saying, but I don't know how to apply this in my life, this isn't fully making sense, reach out to me. Contacts in there. Would love to see if there's a way I can help coach you through this so you can then learn how to develop and protect your own peace more too in your recovery. Okay, so there we go. Thanks for joining us for another Coffee and Contemplation. Wishing you another blessed 24 in recovery today, and take a little more focus to protect your peace. Okay, let's all work on that today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.